Tá seala go maith ar realiteach skipíon bhaidir nach Australia agus alapa súil balcóise. Australia gar bh déchas a dúil. Alapa na skipil léisachaí a drasta le gemichin carstel sin na haachge ar son na gúmal a dul. Fisker ma bhuam sa úsin marcalínan an dú. Fisker Lulin, Fisker Allen, Australia an Alapa Biobo Stadium. Cherry Records am Lulin dachi ag Wimbledon FC. Ma ha si violoch Carney sin gan na Vallevoor. Agus callerum sa dú hat it haar chluichiterin skipping Halapa agus gitana ag Hibs Joel Murray. Joel, welcome this afternoon. I think the last time we didn't quite meet, but the last time I saw you, it was in a Baltic cold afternoon, a Sunday afternoon at Meadowbank. Very different circumstances today.
Certainly very different. Had many of those Baltic afternoons down there at Meadowbank, Hugh Dan, but yeah, the climate down in London today looks absolutely glorious.
I was just saying, two teams here with a very different perspective on world football at the moment. The Australians at number 10, heading for the World Cup in their own patch. Scotland chopping and changing, out of qualifications, trying to develop a side. Would that be a fair assessment of the two positions?
Yeah, a very fair assessment. Like you said, I think an Australian side who are riding high in the world rankings with a lot of experience within their squad, and then you've got a Scotland squad with equally so a good amount of experience, but a good mix of youth as well.
Well, let's have a look at the Scotland team then, just to see how the manager has set them up today. As you say, a mixture of experience and first caps, significant 50th cap for Claire Embley, who captains the side today. Is it fair to call them a development team when you consider how many are missing?
I think so. I think it would be fair to call them that. Like I said, you've got a good bit of experience in there, and Lee Gibson, Emma McCandy, but then you've got Emma Watson, who quite rightly so earns her first cap here today. So yeah, I think they're still developing. They're still finding their way, embedding in the manager's style.
Well, Emma Watson, she's just 17. She's been outstanding for Rangers. This is the kind of platform you can really progress on, isn't it? If you make a name for yourself today and playing with people like Caroline Weir, I mean, that's bound to be a massive help to a young player.
Absolutely, and like I said, it's a well-deserved first cap for Emma. Played against her a number of times this season. A player that's very versatile. We've got her there in the graphic in central midfield, but she's played a lot out wide for Rangers, and I think there's a lot of comparisons between herself and Erin Cuthbert, and quite rightly so. I can see a lot of similar qualities and attributes in the two.
That's the earlier shots of the teams arriving. I was having a troll through things like the bookies' predictions and all the rest of it. The Australians haven't been saying much about Scotland. How do you think they'll treat Scotland in this kind of warm-up phase leading to the World Cup?
I think they'll appreciate the qualities that Scotland will possess. They'll know that they're a tenacious team, a very gritty team, and I think they'll know a few of their players. Claire Emsley obviously is familiar to A-League women's fans, as she helped Melbourne City to a Premiership and Championship double, and a lot of the players play each other down south, so I think they'll respect the opposition, but they'll be looking to go out there today and get a result.
Now, Pedro Martinez Loza has made it quite clear he is changing the team and he will use the bench. There are plenty of players that we'll look forward to seeing, like Chelsea Cornet there.
Yeah, absolutely. I know Chelsea very well. She came through the ranks at Hibs, played with Chelsea a number of times at the early stages of her career, and played against her recently this season. And the development in such a short space of time has been magnificent. And I'd like to see and hope that Chelsea can, like Emma, earn her first cap here today.
It's maybe tempting fate a little bit, but what would you see as being a good result, or a good outcome rather than a result? Certainly in terms of an outcome, I would suggest a competitive performance is the first requirement for this Scottish team.
Absolutely. I think that's the bare minimum every time you step onto the pitch, whether it's for your club or for the national team. I think competing certainly is the basic foundation, and then kind of going on to try and win those individual battles, keep the Australian team quiet, who are on a 7-game win streak at the moment. one of those wins came over Spain in February when they won the Cup of Nations. So a team who possess a lot of quality, but I think Scotland will hope to be competitive and try and get something out of this game.
Well, there's the last 5. They score a lot. They don't give away a lot. They've got an impressive CV if you want to put all that together. So there's no doubt about the challenge that Scotland face here today.
Yeah, absolutely no doubt at all. It's a very impressive kind of screen grab there. Only 2 conceded in the last 5 against.
And it took Spain to do that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Against a decent level of opposition. I think the other 2 out with that is potentially a Sweden and a Denmark, and of course no slouches themselves.
Scotland won't be a banana skin for them, do you think? Is that unfair on either team or both teams to suggest that?
I don't think so. I think Scotland, like I said, will appreciate the quality of opposition that they're about to come up against, but they will have belief and confidence in their own ability.
Just a reminder for everyone watching that we will be having Gaelic commentary, obviously, on this game on BBC Alapa, but there is an English commentary available on the Red Button service if you would like to follow that. Stuart Mitchell and Rachel Boyle are poised, ready and willing to take you through the rest of the afternoon. Réitere in ceann agus seachar a céim international bí luí an náisianta scola caléile acin. Is Alapa noch idú is na dahan úr achge, sonna í turis purpi. Na dahan úr, sonna bhí clúichar fallah Roehampton, sgyn ik wil het Anna Hampden di Marseille yn Costa Rica, game ik hier cwtioch BBC Alapa. Agus at ik hier go cre til. Da official Australia Leo Gorama King Gurumidir. Just a word about the colours. New strip for Scotland, new away strip. What do you make of that?
Like it, really like it. Yeah, and I think you could see a lot of the players liking it. Lisa Robertson there making sure she was looking good before the teams came out. But yeah, I really like it, and I think from what I'm seeing on social media, I'm not the only one.
Nishna Luyan Nashanta. Maar graag gegaan was Toshi de Kemigen.
The national anthem of Australia and Scotland.
Dit is de Veerweg Huwel. Australia Dodger. de Australia, de Matildas, maar hachte het juch en niet de Socceroos, maar bang oer gera Soul. Finished. Denk je via Shin Jensen pick de Shar, Lisha Louis Nation Dageneen. Skippen a Halapa. when you get around in the Rouge is a giant. Joel, I think we knocked him out of the park in the singing, and I'll tell you what, Emma Watson looks up for this.
Oh, she certainly does. You can see it. She's a very cool, calm and composed character, and you could see that in her presence there in the
body
anthem.
language is good. The
Absolutely,
body language, excellent.
absolutely.
Yeah. Díadach a déanamh dísel, lena clachíon Visteach. So we're looking for a good start here, obviously. Contain them, maybe hit them on the break. First goal would be nice for Scotland.
Yeah, absolutely. I think from the first minute we need to play on the front foot. We need to be positive, and we need to have that belief in our quality and ability. We spoke about the absentees through injuries, but we need to appreciate and recognise that there are a lot of kind of experienced players and quality players on that pitch for Scotland today.
Okay, are we
Big day,
ready to
Claire
begin the
Emsley, the 50 caps.
competition?
That's an achievement and a half, isn't it?
Massive day for Claire, leading our country out, wearing the captain's armband. It's something that I know she will be very proud of, and I know her family will be very proud of as well.
Yeah, I like the strip. It's growing on me. I like it.
Will you be buying it, Hugh, Dan?
That's a different thing altogether. Don't know if it comes in extra large. Seo cin acah na skipian maha Australia an hen agus hat láidir a fiog na park agus a skiparach is a bhean Polkinghorn le ciad agus lichid ceip gan a skipa international. Han scial céir mar a isa cin neist chan yeli cloich gan cloich in na siar a hachga a chan ioisin han jarstach fiog na park. Alapa Lee Gibson is an tol Kerrick a chŵl Fiona Brown, Emma Mukandi, Sophie Howard agus Nicola Doherty, as a bhean Kerr Weir Watson, Thomas Hansen agus Emsley as a line oi a lorach Nantul agus a skipper mar a húrsin an hen Claire Emsley. Agus a corm ag alapa rwytig yn ni yn y sio. So do you go with the bookies at 3-1 to Australia? It wasn't 3-1, it was 3 goals to 1.
Oh really, is that what they're predicting?
Yeah, some of them anyway.
I don't know, I think I'll be optimistic. I think I'll go for a draw today.
Good, yeah. Probably settle for that, we take that right now. Alapa maha a live chli as na dahan úrachge mar a húrsmi. As you gael purpi Biovo Cherry Records, Red Records Stadium, Annaluning, Australia, Noi Alapa. Jichif skippe a doel, Australia, Noi Alapa hek 3 arichit, ik het hier afgenetj. Bal ek Alapa, zo'n game goed getal. Hier is dat de vierde doorst regiert gaat. Blaakeleord de goed gaan Australië niet le mjuchtig genoeg gaan je go masala junje. Is hij Isaac in gewil naar Australië niet schuwelig lezen wel. Koefen een krinje in de ruimte naar geheen. Dan zat hij door zijn vliegen. We zijn blane haagje draaste. Goede kalekame serischen. Ellie Carpenter, een gelijk Olympic Lyon. De raasjes skippen. Terug jacht in de kaarsje. Groen maat hier. Dat is toch hier weer de jachten. Race er is er aan. Louise Thompson, natuurlijk een goede haast. Dus in de dagen nog wie kusig gereden of nou weer in die kussen aan met je. Die Gibson, die maakt zo'n hier toer. There's been a lot of talk about the changes in the team and how there's been maybe I think it's fair to say a lack of consistency in the Scottish team selection. Where does this team today sit in all that kind of ebb and flow?
Probably right in the middle of that inconsistency. To be honest, I think obviously you've got your injuries to captain Rachel Corsie. There's a couple of players that were left out of the squad. Abby Harrison, who's doing very, very well down south with Bristol City, and of course Lisa Evans, who's been a mainstay in the national setup for a number of years. So it has, like you said, been a lot of inconsistencies in the selection, and I think that's just down to the manager Pedro Martinez Losa not really knowing kind of his kind of proper primed
Best
starting
options.
11. Yeah.
Well, perhaps the 2 games today, and there's Costa Rica and at Hampden on Tuesday still to come. So these 2 games could be quite important in terms of Scotland's development.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we always speak about these kind of competitive friendlies being opportunities to develop, but I think we need to now go beyond that stage and use them as an opportunity to progress and really bed in our philosophy and ethos with our kind of best starting 11.
Daar skipper Kema 5 gelogen draast Australia Brew kita. Gwelin Pierre Alappe, sydd bwysig i'r ffordd, Sias y loenau, Hyd chwarae McAlappe. Kirsty Hansen, Norsen, Stjach yn y fokse. Australia nicht. Skiplach i'r ffordd. Dus Diana weer kennel in de parken. Alappe, Sisse weer Ashbekan. Ze green. Gaman van jullie voorste zijn de hecht in de dagen en je mag er nog eens in vastgeren. Gaan we het van de live glee. Is dat gemaakt feutje naar Australië? Conor McAlliff die dat nu Hager en Kirsty Hansen. She is a line. It was an encouraging break down the right hand side. Kirsty Hansen. There's a gap there to be exploited, perhaps.
Yeah, it was, and you saw Fiona Brown, who started the game at right back in a very advanced position, who got onto the forward ball to knock it forward for Kirsty Hansen. So a promising attack from Scotland down the right.
Hier 2 minuten. Hier zie ik Australië ketaas. Heel op het door is er. Goede meer van Australië. Is een echte trichie is er live clear door Hou. Dus dus hier Australië. Wel een goede maag, Caroline Weir. Zijn Volkinghorn. Kiet ligt ze keer terug hier vliegt de Australië ik in hier zo. Kom wel maar vastgeren. Is een 3 en een in de vaart. Plenty of possession for Scotland, and it's all very careful. I suppose you would expect this in a game like this at the first 10-20 minutes, sizing each other up, settling down.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's important to get a foothold in the game. The first 10 minutes are crucial to get that confidence and belief. And like you said, I think adopting that progressive possession-based style of play whilst looking for the opening is a very sensible option to take.
Vliegt er nog uit als Sias er vaart, want de Franse genuschkeer. Dus treger een wa, je stok wil zien, die dat een waier in een jaar. Dus een 4 hang, dat is een laat je. Die dat een 5 korm Australië. Ruas at the line, you could call. Give a food to knock minute. Gori goed trainen zijn simply de Lee Gibson. Voers going to be on the galop, you can hear the shot. Nishkita Karamaka. Nog een live clear. Kassa stations hier team Groei. Er zit Kirsty Hansen. I think that comes with the message that we're here to play, not to muck about.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and also a bit of frustration there from Kirsty, because Claire Emsley done well to get in behind the fullback on that left-hand side, and it was a fairly simple pass, and unfortunately for Kirsty, didn't quite execute it. So I think that follow-up tackle was a little bit more out of frustration, to be honest.
Mary Fowler Lindy Muurtek en de Royke Hulika. Dan is dat een beetje gekast. Til is voor Toulmoor en nog goed. Dan het Gian Halafus. Die is Giovanni Sterken of Jan. So they're going to come to Hoshen. Sophie Howard de Gary. There's an awful big gap opened up there. You don't want to see that early in the game, any time in the game, but not early on.
No, you certainly don't. It was too easy for Australia to beat the press and play out of possession down in their defensive third. A fairly simple switch of play, and they were in acres down Scotland's left-hand side and their right-hand side. And like you said, Hudan, you don't want to see that, and you'd want to try and nullify that as much as possible.
William Van Oshen, hier het William Ha. Katrina Gorey. He's got him. Got him in there. With the sheet all of to be. Mary Fowler is putting herself about here. She's winding up the whole Australian effort. She's everywhere at the moment, and that could have gone anywhere. Deflections, all these bodies in front of her.
Yeah, Lee Gibson obviously unsighted there with the number of bodies in front of her, but like you said, Mary Fowler for these opening 10 minutes has been a handful, the Manchester City forward, so I think we certainly need to keep a close eye on her today.
Tergal Kahaiker. Howard de Diest also was. August de Diest. Die Australia kan smaak de game. Dus wordt ik in te kijken. Ik kan laten kijken ervan.
more and execute passes like that a bit better, because in games where you don't see a lot of the ball, when you do, you need to make sure that you're really making use of it and really possessing that quality.
Yeah, 4 or 5 times now they've given the ball away. Having said that, Australia just as culpable here. But the important thing is now that Scotland make a positive move out of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they can take great confidence from the opening 15 minutes and hopefully start to play further up the pitch and start to create those openings that we're looking forward to them doing so.
Claire Emsley's Caroline Weir effective Barak and Val. High off that. Was that a foul throw?
It was indeed a foul throw.
One of these rare
yes.
things. Here we are. Gosh, I saw one in a game a couple of weeks ago and I nearly fell off my seat. It's another one.
I know, I didn't think the referee was going to give it there,
Yeah.
but it was as blatant a foul throw as you'll see.
You see some howlers though. That booking if we're not careful. That's frustration, nothing else, isn't it?
Yeah,
we want
absolutely.
Caroline Weir to be seeing more of the ball, not chasing people like that.
Yeah, we want the ball at Caroline's feet, and I think, like you said, Hugh Dan, it was a foul out of frustration. Caroline looked like she got caught wrong side, and Katrina Gorey, it's a player that you don't want to give unnecessary possession away to, because she's kind of the creative player and the spark in this Australia team that can really light a game up.
Another player with more than 90 caps. Through a Razo. The Hamilton should have been Australia slag gateen. Nicola Doherty to Lever. Interesting point about the Scotland back four there. You've got 2 left-footed players. Nicola Doherty is maybe more emphatically left-footed than Fiona Brown on the other side.
Yeah, absolutely. Emma McCandy, another left footer there in the back line, who's predominantly won a lot of our caps at left back, but I think her experience, our knowledge allows her to play that kind of centre back position. But you're right, Hugh Dan, Nicola Doherty playing predominantly left back for her club and has played very, very well there this season.
Kafak Zubi en Australië niet. Katrina Gorey. Voor de middel van Noshan. Hier doet het van Noshan show. Sterker niet één. Hier zal het doen de show. Dat is geen zin hier. Disappointing, I think, the Australian team so far, so much possession. They're not that incisive. There's no kind of cutting edge to them so far. They just seem to be happy to knock it about.
Yeah, I would agree. There's not really that intensity. You can see in this instance they're locking the box, but from open play they're quite happy to sit in that mid press, that mid block, and not really press or play with that much intensity.
We, of course, live to regret that, Steve.
I know there's a lot of football still to be played, so yeah, we'll maybe
Let's
keep
move
quiet.
4 minutes. Joni. Australia gaan doen haltjes. Chef in de box, dat voerste geleden door Lee Gibson. Dyna'r rwta haw giri ynyach gli. Dyna'r Shiva really is a vox shit ar ydyn ni dal hi'n fasgro.
Yes, yes! Together, yes! Stay there!
Stranie gan brw gyda. Diestol as a raad er hele. Van de Woerson, Alappe, de sier van Alice, Emma Watson. Mag een live glie. Dit nog een keer met waaraf. Niels wat jacht poelig omlaag. Gekken pikte of teig de Alappe houlen, die doen houlen zijn. De misne goed. Weer Emmesley. Gedin grote notion kita. Toremüller. Fowler trang gedien. Moege skippen Halappe. John van Australië niet kaboef die maar. Woersen kan ook wel eens stay. En de skiel flakken. Well, that's the kind of ball that frustrates coaches, isn't it? Not so much the ball, but the fact that Caroline Weir must have had a good sight along the line there.
Yeah, it's one of my main frustrations, Hugh Dan, so I can fully relate to that. And like you said, you can almost kind of justify a striker being offside from a central position, but I think when you're in a wide area and all you need to do is look along the line, it's certainly frustrating. But credit to Australia for holding that rigid defensive line there.
Voeg dat Alappe mag van de Grokunost oorse bier aankel. Genisht. Zuurboelje eerlijk en horschacht hem aan de paarke. Samkeer. Kusan. Nothing much in that really, was it? One disappointing feature of the game is that we don't have the two Sam Kerrs against each other. That would have been an interesting challenge for the commentary team, if nothing else.
I know, I think it was billed as a Sam Kerr matchup, so hopefully for us, not so much Scotland, the players on the pitch, hopefully we see Sam Kerr of Chelsea today at some point.
Gary Steinisht, it'll do a howl, till he was thrown. Till he was thrown. That's the kind of thing you expect to see from this team, albeit that the final execution wasn't quite there.
Yeah, that's the thing that we've been accustomed to see over the years, is that kind of drive and run forward and those penetrating passes. But on that occasion, the ball was just overhit.
Hier de route van de keer igen. Farach in het al op Grijmen in de bal, bij aan de park snoers nog Koemelers en de goeie zitten door de diest. Misschien nu nachher hoe game is Martinez Loza. Keert. Die meer keert er ik liggen slierstogen. Fiona Brown. Ja, nee. Wordt ik in de Warnocker op Pialov. Just get the feeling the Scots are a little bit more inclined to tackle than the Australians right now.
Yeah, I think so, and I think one more so than anyone else is Emma Watson. We spotted her her body language in the anthem and the lineup, and she's certainly taken that kind of tenacious, aggressive nature onto the pitch.
You still up at a good Irash on the line of cool.
You can hear there the Australian manager, they're looking for those triggers. He's looking for them to be aggressive on the back pass, and I think we need to be mindful of that, because it's easy to kind of get caught up in that slow, steady pace, and then instantly, within a second, comes that aggressive press.
Siop Curran to gael after that. Jack in the box, diolch Curran. Oh, what's he going to do? Curran y siar, y glwys at y siar, y gael after. Agus safol ag ma, ag Mackenzie Arnold, ag Yrist, Emma Watson. All came from that tackle again.
Yep, absolutely. We spoke
Acres
about
of
it.
space there.
Spoke about it minutes earlier, Hugh Dan. Emma Watson's aggressive nature, and like you said, I don't think Martha Thomas realised just how much time and space she had on the ball there.
Siamin in fichit isteach. Pwylio van Osian. Alap isteach yn y boxe. Australia, 3 years on end there, Falaf. Now that's the kind of thing that the game has needed. It needs movement, it needs incident like that, just to lift the pace, lift the spirit, the positivity.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's been quite kind of one tempo at the moment. Moments earlier, Caroline Weir had the ball in our defensive third, and there wasn't a lot of options on the ball, not a lot of intensive runs, and like you said, we need something, we need a spark in this game.
But that was another good example of what I referred to earlier as defending from the front, actually taking, just don't let them get it out of there.
Yeah, Australia are very good at that. They're very good at pressing into an area, keeping it compact, and then playing out of that area, and we need to adopt a similar style, and like you said, that was an example of that.
Snafai gael off it. Did a big yn y farach gymach as y sio i'r rasta. Good, Kevin again. Gedierst, Australia stay in the wind. Jack in the box, Gedierst, Corramilla. Oh, Stoffer Corram the Shar. Maybe just snatched at that one. What we need is something in between the two, too much time, not enough time, but that was a better chance in a way, and she instinct.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a fantastic chance. Martha Thomas done well. You've seen her first touch was absolutely superb there. And then the second touch was the strike, and it just didn't come down quick enough to kind of nestle in the underside far corner. But yeah, like you said, it's been better. It's been more positive the last few moments, and hopefully we can kind of progress and drive forward and take belief from that.
So sin tukul a horsta skippen ala pa sulimi came na gasan and eshte prishu cheers in the life clear east. Jack in the box ala pa dorstig trea. Corramilla. Oh, shaka to the east. 3 chances, 3 minutes. That's much better. Best spell of the game for Scotland.
Absolutely. What did he say about buses, Hugh Dan? But yeah, perfect. The last few moments is the way that we should be playing this game, playing on the front foot, being aggressive, out of possession, and creating chances like that.
Here's Mahik na Corriman, Hik na Toil, Eric and Howell. Gedierst to Cowl the wheel, Shanna Jiffer. Again, the Ash coming weer is 3 year on. Die finished Jack in the game, he did. Geo, you can see a sheet. Look at the east. Nesh Dalappe, Mishnachu, Gemor, Lina Hacher. Doherty and ik steek een crew uit daar hoor is hij die nog nog gescreen en hit hier die nog Rudwig Karabach naar kloos het. Schach het er lieher in est. Njoni haast toch barach geurp barach kormen. Ik ga zo in de vaart kruta. Na Wisnacht de Alappe in hier zo. Het was een screwen, mis met de Alappe. Dus Giselle van de Gullesaans aan de Rabaa lachke. Goed vatten is aan het doorste de vaark. Javal, Caroline Weir, nästa macher een live plea, Tuka Laster. Stjach in de boksen. Go weer goed. Oh, klasse hier. Doe de show. Oh, Alappe. Zie dat het paas naar Saske. Daar voor een mille. You know, one of these chances should have been buried.
Absolutely. I think against a quality opposition like Australia, you need to be taking your chances, and that was a fantastic chance from for Emma Watson.
Yeah, she just hesitated at that split second. Kluchtje te liggen Australia is. Ieder maar van een hoenje kloos het de wiel in de schaar. Gegoemers, gegoenig. Weer. Kloos het Australia 0 ze nou. Kusser. Wel, ik heb het doorgeschoten. Liggen sliep is in de klein din skialachke maar aardig. Gil Carmody. De boeien kun gachten galappen. Ik is aan eerste voetdag. Houwens een staartje. Ik is aperkebel skialach. Iemand toch echt geriezen. Maar dan ga je kask. Hoe ik vlug wel kostjes. Ze beter die een cool goed is. Zijn ik liggen sliep maar ha. This is the best spell of the game now, isn't it? It's virtually all in Australia's half. The half chances are coming.
Yeah, absolutely. We're finding those pockets of space outside the fullbacks, and like you said, we're playing higher up the pitch. That last chance that fell to Emma Watson was created because we were patient along the back line, and Emma McCandy found that kind of penetrating pass into Caroline Weir's feet in the pocket. So yeah, it's been a fantastic spell, and hopefully we can really build on that and take one of these chances.
De KFX vlakken die eerste tot zo is die er geniste begrijpen het alle doorstag. Nog honger maar alleen de cool ik Australia kloos het doorst. Goed ja. Eerst Alappe, dat is Orochili. Dit is zo. Dus hier vanaf. Die eerst Alappe kindje door Caroline Weir doen die eerst nog eens de kloos te doorst. Vaak het al zo is. You know, we're seeing a bit better transition play here. Caroline Weir coming deeper, releasing some good passes, and just that. Maybe might have a better. Yeah, she just misread that couple of steps too far.
Yeah, I think so. Again, it was a really good defensive line from Australia, but you're right. We're getting a lot more joy, a lot more success, and I think the key thing to that is winning the ball back centrally and then kind of playing out wide, because it's the wide areas that we seem to be getting a lot of space to kind of play into and drive forward into.
Just Irasalen, Alappe ziet. de tor seach de bhil. It's nu na 10 minuten in de rakel as hier het lege show ist. Johnny. Gaan in de vijf te stach. Kweli herslie. Dus een nieuw score. Ik begin af ik maar weer is je. Dat kan de wandje goed in Australië. Gaan in die Australië in mag is daar naar lele. We kunnen maar nog iemand dus hier te zitten. Astre game ook al. Paar jaren goed in de goeie. Dus zo'n harochbe. Fowler. Hier is Sava als je een crush ziet. De hoek is dat Astre game. Fijn gedoe wil. Afgegeven neer. Het kleef aan zijn blue is het de maag. Karmek, Caroline Weir. Trouwens in de goede getal. Het is blue is het. She is at a live play. That's good patient defensive play created then from Caroline Weir to fire it up the line.
Yeah, it's great to see, and Caroline, the qualities that she possesses, not only from an attacking perspective, but also defensively, is absolutely unbelievable.
Weir, Tjungdag, Schoffer wil ik komen starten naar Karamechke, Tjungdag in de bal. Skipper, strak in de boksen. De hoekal is Gaherash. Hansen. Daar ik de bal verslaan. Winek voor Jeru. Deze kan we niet gerachen echt. Fiona Brown komt af uit de worst. We schauen maar naar Fowler heeft Jelikuur is gezien, maar hij niet geracht. Alle verpunnik. Jongens in het raaste. Weer het in stjachen de game, parach gesparach. Watson, Fjahani. Moine, Tjang de Winnie Geschittach. Press. Duval. No, as a defender, you will be well taken with some of these interceptions, and the way the back four, I think, is playing well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Reading the game well.
Absolutely, considering they're a back four who haven't really kind of played together that much. I've been very impressed. Their anticipation to step and intercept. They've certainly kept the forwards of Crummer and Fowler very, very quiet.
Die de goed big trouw met de eerste. Tina Thomas. Hij zegt dat hij wat te vier in de shit. Als je de kloos te stjagen is, kan de koik minuten van Jeru gaan hier het leeg. Dat is wel en de hoef zegt hoef tol en was dit als een stui. Weer. We kunnen maar nog doen in de weg geronnen zo. Ik ga hier je rasje zitten, dat gaat hè. Dydd mi hynd. Dydy di eisiau lap yn o'ch. Ystymedi ysgrifau ac ar yma sio. Bal. Sgwylig o. Lyn a lap yn o'ch ydi eist.
Don't stop, yeah, don't stop. We don't walk. We don't walk. Come on.
If there has been a weakness, I think in the first half, that's been it, where they get so far and it's just grinding to a halt because the final third is just not quite slick enough.
Absolutely. I think more so down Scotland's left-hand side. I'd like to see Claire Emsley get more involved in the game, because I think a lot of the play has either been down the right-hand side or been centrally. But I think you're right. A lot of the instances where the ball has broken down when it's went forward is up our left-hand side. Yeah.
It's early to be thinking of changes, but what do you think the message will be to the Scottish team coming in at half-time if they can hold it to 0-0 here?
I think they can take great heart for kind of the middle period of this first half. We've certainly we're ending the half stronger than we started, and I think if anything it's that, to be honest. Love that from Emma. She gives it out, and she's willing to take it as well. Just gets herself right back up.
Just a half-hearted appeal, but she knew fine what had happened. Payback time, I think. They've managed to keep, I have to say, Mary Fowler much more quiet as the match has unfolded. They've had to shift her, they've thrown her further forward, but she's not been the threat she was in the first 20 minutes.
No, she hasn't, and all credit to Scotland for kind of addressing that issue, because they've certainly solved that problem.
Sio Coram to Galapa. Stiach yn y bocs, Coramela. Gahatan ystau. Oh, to the five. By Farach yn gyro bal at yn treich, a chyd y gwlach at y hyllteich gyda nesta Australia, Pritchach yn y gynile e gaster. Alaper y sal yn y sio. Stiach yn mian y bocs, a chyddiist. Chown. They can up the pace. You see, they have it in their game to up the pace and make that move. But again, Scotland's, well, the centre-backs particularly, standing very firm.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a fantastic recovery run there from Emma McCandy and a fantastic interception at the last moment. But like you said, Australia certainly have it and are more than capable of kind of speeding the play up when they want to, but equally so slowing it down.
Big fat there. Hansen. Come on, is he
Let's go one moment, come on. Go one moment, Sam, go one moment. Hold the ball, tag the ball. Yes, vamos.
Gro, just is an ocean. Agus gafwni garas ydw mi. Daniel. Dyn nhw'n gyffain gyda tŵr. Sy'n nes y funud ffyrig yn y hydlu. 10 munud castell y hwyr o'ch glefa haig alap y mian hyd le hyfasid. Agus am eisiau swai gyffwyd at i fi rwyr eich le bwle gêm ac yn i'r sio. Hwn ha barach choraman tîn chwn y hun ach gyhyn. Agus na fygat yr fi. Dynach lipig yn y farach fforst yna mi swynio gyffwyd ag at i fi dol ystoi i'r chosioch. Yes, forward. Bravo, girl. Let's go forward. Let's go. Vamos. Forward. Talig i lor, plwys ar un siog yn y ffair. Reit i'r licio le Australia. Clwych ach sy'n y gyfe, han i lwn i farach gachin. Hyro status o clwych idir yn y coraman. Le coraman y gyn go cawn yn y halapa. Gan y ffair. Gygys ffwdiad y gyrwyr eich. Ham eisiau smwyn i hwyd olas gachig. Le ach sli Australia nioni. Alapa. yn Ioni. Nest, as yn iolwch i leor stoch yr ysgialach gec Rose Riley y chlwyndyn ach a fiag yn elan cwydioch y ba ffwlwg yr yn un doi. Sio sgialach gan anlasach yn est, y sgial ag Jill Carmody a ffwydwch y diw yn Atlanta.
Jill, tell us about your life in football. How did it start for you?
As far as I know, my mum tells me that I was kicking a ball probably from the moment I could walk. And I have no idea why I had a passion for that particular sport at all. But yeah, anywhere, any chance I got, I would always have a ball with me. It so happened that I was probably the only girl that I knew who was doing that, because it was in the early 70s.
So how did you feed that love of having a ball? What did you do to try and actually play the game?
So I would follow my brother all the time. There was always a lot of opportunity for boys playing football. So I would just follow him, go to watch all his Sunday league matches and just sit on the sidelines, watch the game, kick about at halftime. It was always the thrill at halftime when they went into the changing room. I could run on the pitch and at least have a real goal to shoot into. We didn't have nets at the time, but at least you could shoot into a goal. And just the joy of always being there, always being able to play around with my brother and his friends.
Tell us about how you finally got to start playing and playing with a local team.
Randomly, so I was watching a Sunday league game and my brother was probably like under 12s at the time. And the under 11 team were due to be playing as well, and they only had 10 players. And so my brother had said to the coach, look, let my sister play, she'll be fine. And the coach is like, okay. So they said, do you want to play? Well, of course. And I just happened to have my boots with me because I always carried my football boots if I went to watch the game, knowing that again I could get to play at halftime and kick around in the goals. So I went on to play. And none of the boys in the team, they didn't really balk at the idea. They were fine. And I just played the game. And the thing for me was, look, if you're a female trying to play in a boys' team, then you've got to be better than most of them just to be able to fit in. Just not for anything else, but just to be able to be accepted into it. And so that was the thing. I was good enough to be accepted. And so at the end of the game, they were like, oh, can you just sign for us and play for the rest of the season? I have to say, Craig, that was the happiest day of my life. So that was Broughty Athletic. And kudos to them as well, just for being a team that, didn't put up barriers. They were like, okay, this is a player. She can play. She's good enough to fit in the team. It doesn't really matter, male or female, whatever. And the boys on the team as well, I would say the vast majority didn't make an issue of it. So I played with them for the rest of the season. And at the end of the season, I think this is where the big change came, because when they do, you get player of the year and top goal scorer and blah, blah. And I think I won a couple of awards or something. And then there was a little article in the newspaper that highlighted that within a week, I then got a letter from the SFA saying that I was officially banned because I was female. And I think, I cried a lot. It was sad. It was a really sad day because one, it was my first ever official letter in my name addressed to me personally. And it had just the worst news. I didn't even see it coming. I didn't expect anything like that. And so it got a little bit more press attention, and sometimes press attention's not necessarily the best. I mean, I did get some hate mail from people just saying I should be learning how to wash dishes and everything else, and this was a man's game and I should leave it alone. So, that for an 11-year-old is sometimes a bit much, but it can also be a great motivator.
From that point then, when you were officially banned, how long did it take before you even got to enjoy playing the game again? And in what capacity did you manage to play the game again?
I think soon after that, there was a women's team. I didn't even know that a women's team existed in Dundee. I led pretty sheltered life just in where we lived, and didn't realize because women's football was never really promoted. That's the thing as well. But they got in touch with me and invited me to go and train with them. So I took up that invitation. Went to train. It was a big leap because I was then, used to playing it with the boys that were my age, then going into women's team, and they were like seemed old for me at the time. I was 11 coming up for 12, and I think their ages were like maybe 18 to 30 or whatever. So it seemed like a big gap, but they made me so welcome, and I got to play, and again, just because I loved the game that much, nothing was going to stop me.
You got involved with Scotland. You got your only Scotland cap at age 14. How did that come about?
I just remember our manager got in touch. We didn't even have a telephone, to be honest, but got in touch with us somehow and said that I'd been called up for Scotland. I don't know how the process happened, if there was people watching the games, if it was my own manager that suggested. But yeah, that was the next happiest day of my life up to that point to just get the opportunity to represent your country. It's the thrill of a lifetime.
Tell me about that game. Tell me what your memories are of that game.
The memory of the game is it was in Wales. We had to get a train from Dundee, like the Dundee contingent. There was quite a few of us that were selected for the team. And I remember we got the train down to Cwmbran or something. We trained, just remember training. I remember the strip. I remember standing in the lineup for the national anthem. I was subbed, but I got on. I think I hit the bar, almost scored. It would have been the ultimate dream. And my dad was there watching. So yeah, just everything that he'd hoped for as well. It was just nice to be that kid that kind of made a dream happen, not just for myself, but for the family. And as it turns out, probably for women's football in general.
So you have your first Scotland cap at 14. You must think perhaps the world's your football oyster at that point, and that many more will follow. What happened in your football journey after that?
So I continued to train with the Scotland squad, I think for about a year, maybe a bit more. And it was always, we had to go through to Glasgow whenever we got called up to go to training, and there was never any other games. So you were just like constantly training and still playing club football, and that was still fantastic. I mean, I loved playing club football, and we had a great team. Dundee Strikers were a fantastic team. Some amazing players played in that team as well, and they were the same. They wouldn't have got the opportunity as well, and they all deserved, certainly a lot of the players there deserved to have their caps and probably to get more games as well.
There then followed some years in the wilderness then, because you just didn't have the motivation to play. There were no goals there for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Tell me about those years where you just didn't play the game.
I took up running. It was the kind of marathon craze of the probably 80s or something. So I took up marathon running, enjoyed that, just good. The lonely runner out there with a couple of friends, and liked it, did a couple of other things. And then, just decided actually to leave Scotland for a while and just pack a rucksack and disappear and try and work out a few things. And that's really where I realized that, look, I love sport and maybe I should go back into sport. And when I started training, it was just a course in like physical education at one of the local colleges. It was a couple of year course. And when we were doing football, and then I realized I still had a great passion for the game. And so I started playing again. And this time maybe with like a half-hearted dream of, hey, maybe this can go further, because I did know that there was other countries, well, certainly Italy, that there could have been maybe an opportunity. And so I was a bit more, okay, let's see where it goes.
And where did it go then? You mentioned Italy. You went to Italy and you had a good football career there. Tell us about that trip and that experience.
I remember a scout got in touch with me, and in Italy at the time, they were only allowed one foreign player per team. And so I think they would go around and they would scout out certain players that they felt maybe had a different style or could make the difference in the team. And to be honest, when going there, I thought, oh, it'll be good enough, even if you just got on the bench, almost just to say, hey, you get to that level or whatever. And it did. When I got there, I suddenly realized that if they were going to take me, I was the one that was going to have to make the difference in the team. So this was a Serie B team that wanted promoted into Serie A, their top division. And they said, yep, we'll give you a contract, but here's what we need. We need promotion this year, and we need to sustain Serie A. And I realized that, oh my God, it's like back playing with the boys again. It's like it came full circle, because you've got to prove yourself and work harder and be better than the majority, just because that's the role that you've been given. And to be honest, it was like full circle, and I knew how to do that. And I loved doing that. So I mean, I had a great time. I played for 4 years in one part of Italy, then I moved to another part, played for another year, and just, it was a dream.
What are your reflections on your experiences in the game, even in relation to what you see now, the opportunities that exist now, the chances for young girls to have a full pathway, for female coaches to have a full pathway? How do you see your experiences as having been part of that, trying to break down those barriers and knocking at the door until somebody opened it?
I think we all have our time. It's whenever it is, it's our time. It's the right time for us. And I just happened to be the one that came along in the 70s, and that's what the situation was. So I played that role of maybe being, a bit of, I don't know, I'm not ambassador, but still the one that's not going to give up. But I'm not the only one. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of people who will share the same story as mine worldwide. And there's people who came before me in the game, and I recognize some of the barriers that even in the 20s that these women went through, where all the clubs were shut down in the UK and women's football was outlawed. And so, I recognize what these women probably went through. And then my time came along. It's like, okay, we're maybe making small changes. But then to see afterwards, it's like the floodgates have opened. And so it's great. We all just play our part, whatever that part is, and whatever the time is, and whatever, if there's a legacy, fine. If not, then we're still there. We're still all connected, all doing something to help the game, and that's it. We're all connected.
Well, Simas scialach gystioch a hinsio agus gyda'r afer gyda scialach ac yn anhyd Jill Carmody no Jill Crawford mar y findio wyr ac yn anhyd yn dis mar achau casg fo chlwych balcosio sŵl gymahed ar ialach ac yn ydwch taing dy ialaf yn dwy sydd eich gyn. Well, as je aan het lonen, je collerie skippen de halappen, Clwch Australia, aan de game Carstel, Njoni ek lichach slie. Agus, well, na carm en a chien, de skippen de halappen, ek jedig hier lie, agus as je net orstof is kun je dollarstjach in de darnely, collerum aan Joel Murray. My collerum as here lie. Joel, it came and it went. It went at the beginning because there wasn't much between the two teams, but then Scotland had the better of the last 15 minutes and they had their chances.
They certainly did, Hugh Dan. We always speak about growing into the game, and Scotland certainly done that with in great abundance. That occasion there, Martha Thomas, I don't think she realised how much space and time she had on the ball. Probably could have taken another touch. But then flip side, this one was a fantastic opportunity, created all by herself.
Sam Kerr chance.
Yeah, opened up there for Sam, and I think in the end she'll be disappointed with the connection and disappointed not to at least hit target.
And again, that's at least 4 half chances. 2 good chances if you want to do the sums. At least one of them should have been buried, we think.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you need to take your chances up against quality opposition, because you don't know when your next one will come. I think that last one, Emma Watson done very well to open her body and take our first touch away from pressure. But ultimately, there was too many Australian bodies behind the ball and in front of the goal.
And we do think Australia have more in the locker. It's not their full strength team by any manner of means, and they've shown they can up the game at almost at will, but they do. But they've never really threatened the Scottish goal.
They haven't. It's been very bizarre, especially given the run of games and their form coming into this game. We spoke about at the top of the show their 7-game win streak, which was including a win over Spain and very oppressive opposition. So for me, I've been fairly disappointed in their kind of first half, but like you said, and like we said, the star player, their star player, Sam Kerr, sitting on the bench, and I'd be surprised if we don't see it in the second half.
It'd be good to see it in many ways, but just finally, they don't look like a team that's battling for their World Cup places.
They don't. We were actually speaking, I was speaking to Rachel at half time there, and you don't see that. You're not seeing individual players who are on the cusp of the team, kind of really battling and really trying to show their qualities and really trying to stake their claim for a World Cup place.
Just a reminder there, the reference to Rachel. If you wish to follow the rest of the commentary in English, you can get that on the red button. Stuart Mitchell and Rachel Boyle will take you through this second half, which is now underway. Referee Louise Thompson, Kurigem Kutal. Agus híjaniste vaak Tony Gustafsson suyachu mar a hae. Alapa clíchas na dahan úr, clích van a live jarst. Liagoram ik Australia van a live clí. Agus Caroline Weir an the hen tínisteach na game as a sport, which is when you could call it Gal barach fars, gal barach groink is a game again. Is Claire Emsley. Skiffer a du, lich het to dus hier wie klicht de galappen. We show hier het tahuge galappen. Voers look at it. Bialov. Oh, so tall. Nicola Doherty as a hiet winnet. Bashita Torstjoen, you can krieg het al schachet er vast. Dus ik winnet van Jerig. Why is a Leon? Did you, like me, think that was going nowhere?
Yeah, absolutely. Not because it was Nick, but I think the ball took an age to come down, and I don't think anybody knew where the ball was going to end up. But thankfully for us, it ended up in the back of the net, off the post, and 1-0 Scotland.
46 minutes. What a start.
What a start indeed, and I think if you asked us who would have opened the scoring for Scotland, I don't think...
And how?
Yeah, I don't think Nicola Doherty would have been kind of in our top 3. But what a fantastic strike from Nick on our weaker foot, which makes it even more impressive.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't look like her. Combank Matildas, Njoni, Alapahoon. Matildas Marach got at you. Agus Apper Nachila te Torschachet Uire Huil Shen. Is toch 3, maar ze maken je 3 en de Shia Gemmich in de nest had er Nicolas Day gaan naar in Spanje. Zo Alappe een game achter tur. Hier is in de nest. Kaatje wil sound. De Matildas. Gustafsson. Give it a right go, Ilish Shit. Fimi Alafanish took a little shin, and you'll over Sabig of Suyerash. Either we Kudamach, it's glazed the Kunuguil. Ja, is de favourite of all. She is going to learn. I've had to be torched. Show Australia gedaan. Stefan de Vok zegt en je komt nog snor Sabia zijn. It's almost that lethargic kind of feel to the way Australia break at times. I was expecting far more pace from them and better deliveries at the end.
Yeah, I think so. I would certainly agree. I think we spoke about it a lot in the first half. There's just not that intensity and tempo in the way that they're playing, not on the player nor the ball.
Shot cut him Makata. I'm going to do a howl. Open Tarsen. Who's it Valav? Well, maybe they're listening in.
Commentators jinx here nearly.
Well, if it's the bar, it's the bar. But maybe a coat of paint away from the equaliser.
Yeah, it was a great ball in behind the Scotland defence to Vine, who done well to control on her first touch and hit the shot on her second. And thankfully for us, it stayed out.
I tell you, that one thing, she thought it was in. She was celebrating halfway.
Yep, she was away with a hand up.
Yep. Corin van Oshan Kata, de Australia. Dames, je goed te heilen te doen, Lille. Howard, who they can van de sheet. Hier we Khalil laatje de Kahool. Voor de wil alle verkeer in week daar. De Winnie Nash, dus de Vokse. Stjachla. Oh, die gaat Kusunje. Bit more confidence. You can just see the difference a goal makes, you know, just moving the ball around, just not just lobbing it in carelessly. They're being patient and creative.
Yeah, absolutely. A goal can give you that boost, that confidence, and I think you've seen there another opportunity to create it. And I think Kirsty Hansen, I think the chance was on to meet the ball and hit it first time on her right foot, but she's tried to come inside on her favoured left.
De Stefan Vokse die eerst. Die dat gaan jullie malen tichtjem gaf ik koroer. Dat ik wel Australië raas voor de willen kan hier ik daar. Next Australia, Chile Goro. Keen just to be here in a hole. Joe Fleece chucking him in. Oh, Johanna Lee Gibson. And he gave well, we mentioned that Fowler was very quiet towards the end of the second half. She broke through. That's a great save.
It's a fantastic save from Lee. She recognises the danger very quickly, makes herself big, and gets something on the shot there. But I think that was all created by a Katrina Gorey run and pass, and we highlighted her at the beginning of the game and in the first half, and she's one that we really need to pay close attention to.
I think Sam Kerr suffered for that save, but that's what you need your goalkeeper to do, is take everything out. Might have been just the way she fell, I'm not quite sure, but totally committed. We'll see it better here. Oh, her knees doubled up underneath her.
Yeah, her knee's just been caught in the turf there. I don't think there's any or very minimum impact with Lee, but thankfully she's on her feet and looking like she can continue.
Yeah, it's just one of these kind of awkward falls. Smuinuk ville kanske orka.
Don't go out of position, Sophie, Emma. Yes. Vamos, Claire.
Paulus Jack in de boksen. Ach, die is alleen niet hier. Ze is er wachten. Zien ze vanaf. Die is mag geskiffeld. Yeah, they're really beginning to turn the pace up now, aren't they? A bit more incisive, better passes around the edge of the box.
They certainly are, and we certainly need to regain control of the game. Fantastic reactions there again from Lee Gibson, but like you said, Australia kind of on the front foot in the last couple of moments. And from a Scotland perspective, we need to get our foot on the ball, enjoy the ball, and start kind of playing to those performance levels that we have for the majority of the match.
Hummel again hier Shokita. Jawel, snokker alive Klee. Skipper en eerste Garagastui. Stok een beetje geboren je keem illegaal. Just a disappointing ball that, wasn't it, at the end, the execution?
Yeah, I think the build-up was superb. The flick round the corner through the legs from Caroline Weir, and unfortunately the end product wasn't what we'd imagined.
Shimnashar, Kumal Suez, the Charlotte Grant, and Achkishin Carly in the Shin is here to leave Australia. Oh, Van Hersen! Whoa! Well, you could see what was going to happen, but fair play to her. It was Hunt releasing that one. It's not bad for a centre-back.
Not bad for a centre-back at all, and a centre-back earning our first cap here today, so she would have been hoping to see that hit the back of the net to mark it with a goal. But I think from a Scotland perspective, we can't allow that much time and space for Australia to run into, because
that's twice the hit would work now, and you know, third time unlucky. We don't want to see that happening, but you're right. They need to get a grip in midfield like this. Caroline Weir en is de stjäle i det först. Emsliga goed trekken i boxen. Oh! Iragaskjar, but had to hit the target, had to come off her left foot. It just fell to the wrong side, but what a move, best move Scotland have had.
Yeah, it's a fantastic move there, and like you said, there probably wasn't enough pace on that ball from Claire. However, the execution of it up until that point was fantastic. The build-up was fantastic. The combination was fantastic. It's just like that. It's just that end product.
Stachla, oh! Tell you, it's opened up. It's a good game.
End to end, Hugh Dan.
Good game. Vine do the shot. Stjålig trein. Oh, gevaskes ze va. Alappe. Good to get to be can you only just imagine what 2-0 would have been?
I know.
I think you'd have found care coming on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so.
Now I'm going to ask you this. I ask every co-commentator this. What do you make of this passing it out from the back within the box?
I think for me...
Are you a fan?
I'm a fan of it to an extent. I think when you're trying to build up from defence, for me, if you're passing it out to your central defenders in the box and the ball's just getting bounced back to the keeper to then go long, is it really necessary? Can we not just go long straight away? So on those occasions, not a fan of it. However, if we can build out through that front press, then absolutely a fan of it.
I think I agree on both counts. Seo Australia barcach gan y bal yn eist had ga hwrca ffeim. Fi'n had y brisig tre had yr darsyn y fwolwg da hwrys. Sy'n eist ta fawlar. Llwch nes ati ddod o'r styg sy'n ti'n ysdiach yn y gêm. So sy'n ffwrys dy gyda o'r jelig ydych. Not a good idea to be deep in the field and let them come at you like this, because they will do it all day and they'll break through sooner rather than later.
Yeah, we need to try to stop collapsing from a midfield perspective. We can't allow our midfield to collapse onto the back line and invite that pressure, because that's two instances now. The first where it's hit the crossbar, and that one where Gorey's just placed it over the bar, that Australia have looked a bit dangerous.
Caroline Weir, trwy'r Jimmy Hiller, trwy'r i'r Falafe. De brug er eerst gitarretje lieg. Tjanne er een oor hier genest. Klachwielen. Elke maak goed terug de eerste game. Bjarne in de Fosklu. Oh, Schallegram. Gemara ga je echt zitten gommelen maag. Australia has de prijs trainen. You make your own luck, and she's had a couple of good saves before that, but crikey, she just about spilled that one in.
She did, and I don't know if there was a slight movement on the ball.
Yeah, it dipped.
I think it did dip, but very unlikely, but fantastic reactions to get something on the second ball and tip it just by the post.
Changes coming. Here we go. Weer de tarren in as zullen we terug naar Steen in de vaart te gaan lappen. Die hebben zo. Isaac Australia naar de heavy bal. Gewilly. Gemaakt komen zag is Giselle van krijgen die hebben. Punyka mooi is of Jan en Schwimi manager na hela bekend is je al op het tulliges doen. Oh, it's getting closer, I fear. That was a beautifully crafted chance, and boy, did she let fly.
Yeah, it was a great chance, a great opportunity. Oh, didn't realise how close it was until you see it from that angle, but I think we're dropping too deep.
Yeah.
We're allowing Australia too much time and space, and we're inviting that pressure onto our back line. So we need to try and press and step and get that midfield out to apply that pressure quicker.
Nevin.
Substitution with Conrad Insurance, number 24, Larissa Crummer, replaced by number 27, Alex Julia.
Crummer Falav. Die de getjarabig na nachrigen zijn. Die le visser gaat in de macht voor skip Australia poele gekleed dus ha. Er zijn jolig. Diolch Alape gyda'r yr isoch gyda nesht. Fiach yn ei greu mewn i'r Astra game.
No, go close, get close.
Nes cwrs dyl yr y fal Alape na hadyr I fi y gaman yn. Nes yn cwrs doch gydag y chaherash. Uchge. Garagos Jack yn y foxa. Oh, siacad ar y fos. Da mi swyd ydw ar sien sŵa hyw cwdiach. Sgydyd e mach chwn y hosien. Oh, Rashid Fader Malavitir. Just can't afford to give the ball away across your box like that.
Yeah, it's absolutely criminal, that kind of square pass so deep in our own defensive third, and thankfully Sophie gets back and gets something on the ball, and it trundles by the post. But Chidiac coming on to the pitch and looking to make an instant impact there for Australia.
Bonashan Ishol. Is die dat karate hier vanaf. Mag eens eruit. Op een viagen die grote mag. Zo is weer gevaarlijk. Oh, Hanai. Hanai, haal op weer Hujianov. Are there any changes you would see the Scottish management making here? There seems to be just they're kind of overwhelmed in midfield just now. Oh, here we are. There we are. There you go. What do you make of the first change?
Yep, Chelsea corner on for our club teammate Emma Watson. Absolutely delighted for Chelsea. I think she's, like Emma, deserving of our first cap here, and she'll give you something similar to Emma, is that tenacity, that aggressive nature and that quality on the ball. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Chelsea can do in these last 25 minutes or so.
Emma Watson's done well.
She's done fantastically well. She can certainly be proud of her first cap. Her performance levels today have been outstanding. Out of possession and in possession, they've been fantastic.
Davidson's on for Emsley as well. A couple of changes on both sides. Fifi alla per rutig in en via de park Hyunshin för det vill Australia. Bunik. Score on the hint. It is screen border. Cool Husion, Australian Yoni, Alap Hoon. Farach in yr oen y lorog y dras as a bal y tilig o'r ffat ni hwn. These Bouliva. They fancy their chances from out here, don't they?
Yeah, there's been a lot of shots from distance, and again, Scotland not closing down and stopping that space, because they're getting a lot of joy from receiving centrally and driving forward.
Well, look, maybe they're under instruction now, because that's Cooney Cross, who hasn't been that prominent in attacking the Scottish goal up to now, but you don't want to run the risk of them just having a coconut shy afternoon. Dias de bal, Chile was a sport. Doherty, Hood and Hull. Weer. Ik zie het voelen. Kom ik het dat de bal Hershey's toch, hè? Alappe de Bunik. Pikken er nog te vroeg getal zit, hou, er doe hou. To the throw, Iaski. Rated it, Louise Thompson. And Harry Nirash. Fidieske Gauw. Voor de willen Australia deal Alappe draaste. Alappe heen is kuddag. 4 minuten. Nesh pikken sloe raken. Door in te Alappe zo Ian. Gaan die ielig groglich. Gaan we 4 en die Ian maar zijn. Het park hier even naar zijn. Australia in de haag in de neste schaalt en ik wil 2 willen, dus je gooit jachtje. Fowler in de eerste. Nou, dat is dan bij de hier gaf hij dat lastiger het hul. Caroline Weer, via die koren en weer alleen het hier echt geheen is een kruzak. Van het vuur, daar ga ik nog. It's good play from Caroline there, just to slow things down, give the defence a bit of a breather.
Yeah, it's great from Caroline. Martha Thomas was in front of her, looking to go on the outside to stretch the game, but appreciates the pitch getting compacted, and then kind of halts her run, and Scotland come back out and have subsequently still kind of regained the ball and are still in possession.
Weer de eerste dat real like Signol is een hesje. Ze klusje kan stieren. Ze renjorpen. We kunnen wel nog kijken en we zo. Oh, ga je klachten gaan hem nog. Dus we zijn kerstgeljoen, de hier is het jelle wichtje. Well, I think that second foul was for the first one of Caroline Weir. I think the referee kind of. Oh, there's a yellow card as well.
Yeah, it was
number 16.
An extremely late tackle there from Rasso on Caroline, and like you said, I think that one there wasn't much in it. I think the referees pulled it back because it was a very, very late tackle there from Rasso.
Weir i det ball. Wil ploi chydig yn o'ch cael op y sio. Diolch yn y bocs o'ch dwyr i siachat i'r hyd. Matilda. Ja, os di ar y tamil diolch yn eich dyrwy'n i siar. Is een duwy. Room at de bal. Hoe is het? Ruin jog in de vaar. Al petit gelijk al is wel roei. Je laat de goede koesparn in de hoes. Maar zat je aan doen dit tolle de worst. Soundless. Stoge Australia en game ook al. Havia te keren. Game hou. Het is game kaart te gaan. Hij milie. Dreha show.
Okay, forward. Who's next?
Pepunici fwyli mewn y parc. Ysien tôn ysien a Caroline Weir i'r dwyfa hawl. Sio Caroline Weir y Tîn y Gaster i'r chasglu y dwyfa siar a heich gysach yn y focs. Dyddoch Erin Hull, Erin Iachgli, Kirsty Hansen. Either side of the keeper, guaranteed.
Yep, definitely took the words out of my mouth there, Hugh Dan. A fantastic steal from Kirsty Hansen and drive and run, but like you said, either side of the goalkeeper, and it's finding itself in the back of the net.
And you could see Caroline Weir was bursting everything to get up with them. She almost took it on herself, but that pass was exquisite.
It was very...
A good save, but a save you would expect your keeper to make given that option.
Yep, definitely.
Stiach lam yn y focs. Da chrog fawr y tînir. Stiach yn y focs ydi Yshua Hansen. Twndas o flair i ystod yn Hull. Cafag yn eist, stog ydy gwbrig sien. Alape i'r chwlyd yn i fewn dy chaswys ac yn eist at y Tîn y Gaster Australia. Shelmer, Pachini, Killoch, Savala, Pachili.
Keep going, Martin. Keep going. Pressure on the ball. Tack.
Bukalas day, Shin Savage to Gilior. Tidach na coach minute in the Vashit. For de Vjoy Galape, Tokal Kujen, Miana Park is a Punik, and at the Junsians, knows the Corman the Chi and Harrisher game at their Imatoch, Grew Horman the Fruach. Australia, the Vikunostoch. You see the Fatelic Rishes and Nundo, you put on the shit. You know, the difference 2-0 would have made. What if? Doesn't matter now, they've still got less than 15 minutes to go, but what an effort it's been all round.
It certainly has. I think we spoke at the beginning of the game about what we'd hoped to get out of this, and I don't think either of us could have imagined us being in the position that we're in.
Yeah. Bulivanosh in the East, Australia. Lee Gibson if he has Vivian. They can stay in the do the show. Dúrama fíke púlach, díos for peas amach. I mean, there is a school of thought that says if you keep somebody shooting from that distance, it's not going to really get to you. But there's always a chance that one of them will happen. There we go. What do you make of this change then? Hansen going off, Napier on.
Yeah, I think it's a good change. Kirsty Hansen's ran herself into the ground. She's ran her socks off today, and I think Jamie Lee will come on and give you that same energy. She'll give you that same out ball. I can imagine Scotland will be in the next or the final 10 minutes looking to find channels, get the ball in behind the Australian defence, and Jamie has the legs to kind of run in behind and get on the end of those balls.
Australia, Chile, lovely little group of Scottish fans over in that corner, and every time the Scots get something, they're big. I think that's about the extent of them over there, but they're giving it everything. Well behind the team. We are clever play. So you take one for the team there.
Yeah, you certainly do.
You know what's happening, you know what's coming.
Caroline making that look effortlessly, like she does with most things, just skipping herself out of that immediate pressure.
He's not playing drafts there was more to it than that. Seach Caramella to Galafakata. Oh, Martina Thomas. Minuten. Nurun to Galap at Toshahu. Smooth here. Jerry game. Oh. The name pass the shot at the dual sheet that Oprike. Gordy Rivima. Gordy's been impressive in the second half. She's certainly looking for her future. I would say she's been putting herself about quite a lot.
Yeah, I've been very impressed with Gordy. She's a player who plays in that kind of 6 role and plays it very, very well. She does the basics and she does all the simple things, but she does them very, very well. She's a player who can see a pass and pick a pass. Of course, not on that occasion. Commentator's curse.
Caroline Weir the East. Farpish the fowler. After the East can you the garage. Napier, die dat het jaren beroerte was in de smeun die hun Hanneke hier. Lee Gibson kost nog een goede skill in de high fan. Je ziet, ren je kindje geruid al je grimmig je ziet. That's what you want your keeper to do right at this stage in the game.
You do. Very, very commanding there from Lee. And as a defender, you certainly want your goalkeeper to come and be that commanding presence and relieve that pressure.
Achraguele Chien to Australia. Now they have 3 Giog Dinner.
Substitution for the Copenhagen Matildas, number 16, Haley Rasso, replaced by number 13,
Rasso,
Yellow.
Falav, it is Yallop. Yallop Jean, it is Rasso Falav.
Charlie, centre back, me. Good. When we attack, come up
Not a
with the
bad
same
substitution
No.
to be able to make there. Yallop with 110 caps and 12 goals is certainly a very experienced player entering the pitch.
We're going for a goal now! Yes, Mary! Yes, Mary!
Gustafsson gave up the manager. Chili me Hunnishin and the Duke. En via hen die dokal. Bibrachu. Lehu lekker de gloch. Ha is. Did you hear there what Gustafsson was shouting? We're going for a goal now.
I thought that was very bizarre. So up until this point, have they not?
But no. What's it all about? What's the keeper doing?
Very bizarre shout.
Is he going to throw the dice at the end? Is he going to put Kerr on?
Well, certainly if they're going for a goal, she's the one that can get them the goals.
Jacques Alappe's dier. Gainjer Falaf. Australia Gintarin. Knowles and Owl. Towel more at Gina Shaw the is. Well, sin safel Giglior. Súla ar sgwn a hatchin BBC Alap an Offcast, which in June go rugby is First Rock Super Series a torture an Offcast here game akin BBC Alap Ayrshire Bulls and the Glasgow Warriors A. Sin a torture pio BBC Alap leher joy shach an Offcast. Napier. Keim na Cassan. Kuma Levuil, Gesnok. Caroline Weir at Puchtiger Hoshach. Hier bal een gutje kutjach. En Jukal. De willen rijden de kusjech in de bal. Ik kan lappen haast. Schach in de boxen. Lorok Weir. Pas me hier het al hier aan lappen zitten. Is een echt Australia. Gauwes geluk. You have to say the Scottish centre backs have been fantastically good at reading these kind of cross balls the Australians have been using all the time.
Yeah, Sophie and Emma have been outstanding. They've anticipated instances and moments, and they've certainly relieved the pressure on a number of occasions.
I think you kind of touched on it. I don't think an hour and a half ago either of us would be sitting here saying, can we hold this for 5 minutes and give the team that's 10th in the world a kicking?
No,
a wee kicking.
Yeah, I certainly agree with you there, and it's nothing against Scotland. I think we both appreciated the quality that Australia possessed, but all credit to the Scotland players out there today. They've given everything.
Tillig hi en Qatar. En Louise Thompson rear is je een goede shit. Achra gegele chien. Alappe, 3 Giak, Martha Thomas, Falaf Brogan Hay. Now this is somebody else who can get the ball, take it for a walk for the last 5 minutes, use the pace.
Definitely. I've been on the receiving end of that pace many a time this season, so I can fully vouch for that.
Martha Thomas put in a decent shift. Couple of chances. There was certainly one. I think, you know, she'll be hard done by not to have got a goal there today out of all her effort.
Yeah, Martha's put in an incredible shift today. She's been very unselfish. She's worked well in possession, but out of possession. The pressure that she's put on the Australian back line has been fantastic, and again another one that can be very, very proud of our efforts today.
Fowler, goed de magen in je wil. Het Kumala show, Drejak. 3 minuten in de klok. Fowler het tune de Kunners de Galappe. Ugus Gainjer vanaf. Caroline Weir. Van je ziet hoe Australia draast. Ik wil. Zo gevat het door zo Weir en echt. Hier de goede chemegale de varken zo je. Shahat Sur William. Composure. I think is the word we're looking for here, isn't it? Patience.
Yep, composure and patience and decision making. I think making the
Nerve.
right decision, appreciating the time of the game, and just getting the ball away, as far as away from the goal as possible.
Stjärkla. Conor Stilif. Fowler. Tidaka Hokan stay. Had ik hier next voor de Villa Tidaka Hatale stay. Dus alla bevechten die Hatale maag. Falav. Befatter Falav. Wally Gibson to Suringa. Stjärkla de eerste. Alla bevechten Hokan. Dus gestuurder Falav. Nästa van Napier. Je weet toen dat Humal is onderworpen van de hele Kalsuas. Dus dat de Wunni Kutjach. En bal het ook al Alappe, zo ik Kavak Sibiora. I think game management is the phrase, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Game management, again, appreciating that we're moments from the end of the game and trying to play the football as far up the pitch as possible.
Handball again!
Stjärkla. Caroline Weir is a boxer. Oh! Good to Genevieve Kriegler. Look at the ground Caroline Weir has covered in the last 5-10 minutes. She's been at both ends of the field. Both ends.
It's instinctive from Caroline. Fantastic steal. She lifts the head once, sees Brogan Hayes coming in to support and picks her out fantastically.
That was game over, but it's not done. And Nilla Shachet hast. Als je een vintage verjaardag. Oh, here, look at yeah. Keher Minachin. Wel, als je een van de stallen pikken, ach, lish, maar een hager zit, les zuur wil je. Next. Maar Alappe glees de Gilor, hij chogen en noshan, is Fanny Athias Shen Gruzak. Als je naar de Horschachet. Hier de Horschachet. Stjach, Pies, Maha Stjach, de Goenje Warach geneest. 3 minuten. Je krijgt in de bal. Coelle, Caroline Weir. Stries is savaged. Hij skiet daar. Spikke nu. Fowler het ook al waar zit, dat gebaallegje. Dat zei je de vaar, Connors dan. Oh, wat een female. Best pass of the day from Australia, said the Scottish collective voice.
Definitely, and I think Lee'll take. Oh, unfortunately, the ball's thrown back
I
in,
know.
but I think Lee'll
Must be
take
a wee
that.
Australian down there somewhere in the corner. So, but, I mean, let's tempt fate, and if they hang on here, and it's not so much hanging on, really. It's a much better performance than that. How big is this for the Scotland team?
A massive result, in my opinion, an absolutely big result for Scotland. I think, taking into consideration they're missing their captain and their leader, Rachel Corsie. They've had a few injuries in their call-offs. Erin Cuthbert, who we've not really mentioned at all today,
Yeah.
not in the squad, a very influential
Well, you come to the
member.
point where you say, what? Imagine if she had been playing, you know, if they had these players.
Yeah, definitely. I think when you take all of that into consideration, this result is absolutely superb for Scotland.
It's a sore one for Sam Kerr. That's going to prolong the agony, but obviously I don't mean to be disrespectful in any way, because we need to make sure that Sam Kerr is okay. It's a fair challenge. It's one of those things. Pick a few players out for me. We've got time for analysis at the end, but I think the back four, the back two in the middle, Caroline Weir again.
Yeah, there's a lot of contenders for a player of the match. I think, like you said, the back four, back five, if you include Lee in that,
definitely.
have been outstanding today. They've anticipated things, they've relieved pressure, and their decision making's been fantastic. Equally so, you've got Caroline Weir in the middle of the park with Emma Watson when she was on the pitch, showing tremendous energy, and then a Kirsty Hansen leading the line up top with Martha Thomas fantastically well. So there are a number of Scotland players here today who can certainly be extremely proud of their performances.
And the manager will be pleased.
Definitely, definitely. I think they've certainly approached this game with a game plan, and they've executed it very, very well.
Alapa has the three. Stoker is John Dara Mayerig and Eshtek Australia. Has in the Chien, Hun Pullion Mayerig, Stoker Shot and Hara Mayerig ek Australia. Caroline Weir, if you have any mile, good at Kujan. Die dat het Jennifer Keen, je kunt dit te rash. The Australian keeper's doing herself no favours here. Oh, she has been booked, I think. I think Caroline Weir was booked there, but cheap at half the price. Shot Balestiach, as je zegt het er nu, je ga je gehoofd in. Balroy voor die Alapa Likalish Falav. Shaul kijken te luchtteich naar Alapa door Haul. Er Duitsland. Lee Gibson via die Torsten Njache versitliche camera bal Gumal Krashakele. Zullen wel rechteren tot Harin Kusen go Krieg. Lees Shaw. Dus je nu wil je Shaw voor Lee Gibson toch gewillig tot de horste game go Krieg. Gibson. Minet zegt er een union is. De bal er allemaal gedierd. Zij haast de Australia. Gustafsson haast de keer te lucht. Er pial de luchttuig naar Halappe. Ha, recht je er een game een horske krieg. Er is Halappe er een goede jenne weer Australia. Allemaal wonnen. Geshallen niet meer hem. Ik wil oor hier gelegen. Toen je zo jaalt in. Zomer ha game meer krieg nu. Allemaal wonnen. Australia Njoni. Alappe en Heun. Joelle Murray, take a deep breath and tell me how you're feeling now.
Yeah, delighted, relieved that the game's over, because Australia towards the end of the game were applying pressure, but the game was won with that moment of magic from Nicola Docherty.
That's an extraordinary moment. I mean, you look at the disbelief on her own face when she turns round. To be fair, I don't think she expected that.
No, she didn't at all. But like we spoke about minutes earlier, it wasn't because Australia didn't have any chances. We defended extremely well. They hit the woodwork a number of times, but our defence prevailed and thankfully finished the game.
They had their moments, Australia, to be fair to them. But what an afternoon it's been, and Scotland could have made it too.
Yeah, we didn't have that single opportunity. We had multiple opportunities throughout the course of the 90 minutes. So it wasn't a one-off or a fluke. We were fully deserving of the 1-0 win.
And that was Hansen's chance. And that was it. So thank you very much, Joelle. What an afternoon it's been. Absolutely fantastic. A great result for Scottish football. Nach Maharainet aan de Londen, ik dacht in de Dons, Alappe er goeie en weer Australia, en Jechef skippen er Rangelen en Duul. Haro aan a genoen tol, ach was Shen heen kiljoor. Ik Alappe gach e reeretje, Jennifer Costa Rica, ek Hamden, eiche barst. Fisker Malev.
All alone, like your heart's in vertigo. Lights are on, nobody's home. You got nowhere left to go. But you better believe me, I've seen it. So many of us on the ceiling. Think we're hanging upside down.